Good morning, students. Welcome to physical education class of class +1. Today we are going to discuss the chapter Fundamentals of Anatomy, Physiology and Kinesiology in Sports. This is the second part of the chapter. In this module, we are going to discuss about respiratory system, functions of heart and circulatory system. Let's begin. First of all, we have to discuss about the structure and functions of respiratory system, mechanism of respiration. What is respiratory system? Respiratory system is the system in human body that enables to breathe in oxygen and release carbon dioxide. The act of breathing includes inhaling and exhaling air in the body, absorption of oxygen from the air in order to produce energy, discharge of carbon dioxide, which is the byproduct of the process. The parts of the respiratory system: upper respiratory tract and lower respiratory tract. The first one, upper respiratory tract. This includes the nose, mouth and the beginning of the trachea, the part or the section that takes air in and lets it out. The second one, lower respiratory tract. This includes the trachea, the bronchi, bronchioles and the lungs. The act of breathing takes place in this part of the system. This is the structure of respiratory system. The main parts are the nostrils, pharynx, larynx, trachea, bronchi, lungs, alveolus and diaphragm. Let's see what is the function of these parts. Part of the respiratory tract: mouth, nose and nasal cavity. The function of this part of the system is to warm, filter and moisten the incoming air. The second one is pharynx. Here the throat divides into trachea, or it's also called as windpipe, and esophagus or food pipe. This is also a small flap of cartilage called epiglottis, which prevents food from entering the trachea. The third one is larynx. This is also known as the voice box, as it produces sound. The next one, trachea. It's also known as windpipe. This is the tube which carries air from the throat into the lungs. It ranges from 20 to 25 millimeter in diameter and 10 to 16 centimeter in length. The inner membrane of the trachea is covered in tiny hairs called cilia, which catch particles of dust, which we can then remove through coughing. Bronchi. The trachea divides into two tubes called bronchi, one entering the left and the one entering the right lung. The left bronchi is narrower, longer and more horizontal than the right. Once inside the lung, the bronchi split several ways. Then bronchioles. Bronchi continue to divide and become bronchioles, very narrow tubes less than 1 millimeter in diameter. There is no cartilage within the bronchioles and they lead to alveolar sacs. Then alveoli. Individual hollow cavities are called alveoli. Alveoli have very thin walls which permit the exchange of gases, that is oxygen and carbon dioxide. They are surrounded by a narrow network of capillaries into which the inspired gases pass. There are approximately 3 million alveoli within an average adult lung. Then diaphragm. The diaphragm is a broad band of muscles which sit underneath of the lungs. Then type of respiration, external and internal respiration. First of all, external respiration, that exchange gases between the alveoli and the blood. External respiration refers to a process of inhaling oxygen from the air into the lungs and expelling carbon dioxide from the lungs to the air. Exchange of gases both in and out of the blood occurs simultaneously. Internal respiration, that means the exchange of gases between the blood and the tissue cells. It is also known as tissue respiration or cellular respiration. Refers to a metabolic process in which oxygen is released to tissues or living cells and carbon dioxide is absorbed by the blood. Once inside the cell, the oxygen is used for producing energy in the form of ATP or adenosine triphosphate. That we can see this diagram illustrates the exhaling and inhaling process. The inhaled oxygen comes through the alveolar capillaries and fuse with blood and goes to heart pumps and goes to the body parts. And the other side we can see the carbon dioxide is received by the capillaries which are spread to the various cells. From there it reaches to heart, the left side of the heart. It is pumped and comes back to lungs where carbon dioxide is released, and it is functions of respiratory system. It is also called as oxygen delivery system. The primary function of the respiratory system is to supply the blood with oxygen in order for the blood to deliver oxygen to all parts of the body. The respiratory system does this through breathing. When we breathe, we inhale oxygen and exhale carbon dioxide. This is if this supply of oxygen is suspended for more than 4 minutes, it can be fatal. The person can die. In addition to air distribution and gas exchange, the respiratory system filters, warms and humidifies the air we breathe. Oxygen in the respiratory system also play a role in speech and sense of smell. Let's go with respiration. Mechanism of respiration. The act of breathing has two stages, inhalation and exhalation. Inhalation is the intake of air into the lungs through expansion of chest volume. Exhalation is the expulsion of air from the lungs through contraction of chest volume. Inhalation and exhalation involves muscles. Which are the muscles involved? The first category we can see diaphragm and rib muscles are constantly contracting and relaxing approximately 16 times per minute, thus causing the chest cavity to increase and decrease. That makes us to breathe in and out. The mechanism of respiration, the act of breathing, inhalation and exhalation. We can see the intake of air into the lungs through the expansion of chest volume is called inhalation. The expulsion of air from the lungs through the contraction of chest volume is called exhalation. Inhalation and exhalation involves muscles, diaphragm and rib muscles. They contract and relax approximately 16 times per minute. This causes the chest cavity to increase and decrease. So here you can see when the chest expands, we breathe in, and when the chest muscles contract, we breathe out. Inspiration or inhalation. During inhalation, the muscles contract. The contraction of the diaphragm muscles causes the diaphragm to flatten, thus enlarging the chest cavity. Then contraction of the rib muscles causes the ribs to rise, thus increasing the chest volume. The chest cavity expands, thus reducing air pressure and causing air to be passively drawn into the lungs. The air passes from the high pressure outside the lungs to the low pressure inside the lungs. Then expiration or exhalation. During exhalation, the muscles relax. The muscles are no longer contracting, they are relaxed. The diaphragm closes and rises, and the ribs descend, and the chest volume decreases. The chest cavity contracts, thus increasing the air pressure and causing the air in the lungs to be expelled through the upper respiratory tract. Air passes from the high pressure in the lungs to the low pressure in the upper respiratory tract. We can see the other organs, their structure and functions. Nasal cavity. It is lined with capillaries and lined with cilia. It warms, moistens and filters air entering the respiratory system. Second one, pharynx. The body cavity that connects the nasal and oral cavities with the larynx and esophagus. They function as the path that connects nasal cavity to the trachea. Epiglottis, a tiny flap of connective tissue. Its function: prevent food from entering trachea, prevent air from entering the stomach when we breathe in. Then larynx, made up of cartilage to produce sound for communication, contains vocal cords. These are the functions. Then the last one is trachea, a hollow tube surrounded by tough, flexible, C-shaped cartilage rings. They are lined with cilia and mucus secreting cells. Then functions. They allow air to pass from pharynx into the lungs. Then cartilage rings prevent the trachea from collapsing. Then next one, lung. It is composed of bronchi, bronchioles and alveoli. The main function is the main organs of the respiratory system. The next one is bronchi. The branch out to the trachea, which consists of hollow tubes surrounded by cartilage rings. They are lined with cilia and mucus secreting cells. The function is to carry the air into the lungs. Then bronchioles branch out of the bronchi. They are large bronchioles, secrete mucus and are lined with cilia. Then function is to carry air into the alveoli. Alveoli, clusters of tiny hollow air sacs, the ends of the smaller bronchioles, surrounded by an extensive network of capillaries. They are very small structures with high surface area. The function is they are the sites of gas exchange. Then the next one is heart. The circulatory system is a network that carries blood throughout the body. All animals except the simplest kinds have some types of circulatory system. The human circulatory system supplies the cells of the body with the food and oxygen needed to survive. At the same time, it carries carbon dioxide and the other waste away from the cells. The circulatory system also helps regulate body temperature and carries substances that protect the body from disease. The system transports chemical substances called hormones, which help regulate the activities of various parts of the body. Then, heart. Heart is a hollow muscular organ that pumps blood. It consists of two pumps that lie side by side. These pumps relax when taking in blood and contract as they send out blood. The left side of the heart is a stronger pump than the right side. The stronger pump receives blood from the lungs and sends it to the cells throughout the body. The weaker pump receives blood from the cells throughout the body and sends the blood to the lungs. The location of the heart. It is located in the thorax between the lungs and above the central depression of diaphragm. It weighs 240 gram to 320 gram. It is situated closer to the front of the chest than to the back and slightly to the left side. The human heart has 4 chambers. The blood flows down through the right atrium to the right ventricle, then to the left atrium to the left ventricle. The blood flow is controlled by 2 major valves. It is called as bicuspid valve and tricuspid valves. The circulation of the blood throughout the body is the main function of the heart. Then, systematic circulation. It carries oxygenated blood away from the heart to the body and return deoxygenated or carbonized blood back to the heart. The second type is pulmonary circulation. It carries deoxygenated blood away from the heart to the lungs and returns oxygenated or oxygen-rich blood back to the heart. The systematic circulation has greater force than pulmonary circulation. Then, what is circulation? First one is systematic circulation. Blood comes out from the left ventricle by aorta and blood passes through smaller arteries which carry the blood to the various parts of the body. Arteries are divided and subdivided until the arteries are reached down to the cells. Then arterioles have narrow passage and perform 2 functions. First one, maintenance of arterial blood pressure, regulation of flow of blood into capillaries. Capillaries have thin walls so that exchange can take place between plasma and interstitial fluid. This is the circulatory system. The oxygenated blood comes from lungs to the right ventricle. From there it goes to right atrium, and from there it is pumped to the cells or the different parts of the body. This is called systematic circulation. The second one is pulmonary circulation, that is on the left side, colored with blue, where the heart receives impure or deoxygenated blood and pumps to lungs and gets oxygenated. This system of circulation is called as pulmonary circulation. Second one, pulmonary circulation. From the right article, the blood passes into the right ventricle. Right ventricle contracts and blood goes to pulmonary artery. Pulmonary artery is divided to carry the blood to the left and right lung. The lungs artery breaks into smaller arteries to arterioles to pulmonary capillaries. Blood takes oxygen and leaves carbon dioxide. The pulmonary capillaries unite until veins are formed. Then blood comes back to the heart by 4 pulmonary veins to the left auricle. Now, let's pass on with the blood vessels. There are 3 types of blood vessels: arteries, which are colored red, then veins, they are colored blue, and capillaries. Veins are the blood vessels that carry used blood back to the heart, or the impure or deoxygenated blood. The heart sends the blood back to the lungs to pick up more oxygen. Then arteries are the blood vessels that carry blood away from the heart. The aorta within the heart is the largest artery. The aorta takes blood with oxygen and delivers it to every part of our body. And capillaries. Capillaries are the smallest blood vessels. They branch off from every vein and artery until they reach to each and every cell. When we breathe in, our lungs take oxygen. The oxygen passes into blood through our blood vessels. The functions of circulatory system. The system consists of heart, arteries, veins, and capillaries. Heart works like a pump and circulates the blood throughout the body. Blood circulation unites all organic systems of the body in a functional unit. Functions are to transport nutrients and oxygen to the blood cells, to transport carbon dioxide from the cells to the lungs, to transport hormones, vitamins, minerals, and other substances of immunity to various parts of the body, to transport heat, that is thermoregulation. Appropriate distribution of the blood to the various parts of the body is also considered the function of circulatory system. Then oxygen debt and second wing. What is oxygen debt? The additional oxygen that must be taken into the body after vigorous exercise to restore all systems to their normal state is called oxygen debt. Then oxygen debt and second wing. After anaerobic activity, oxygen is needed to neutralize the lactic acid. This is called an oxygen debt. It is paid after exercise. The oxygen reacts with lactic acid to form carbon dioxide and water. Rapid and deep breathing is required for a short period after high intensity exercise in order to repay the debt. This is also helps to remove the carbon dioxide which accumulates in the blood during intense exercise. The second wing. The return of a relative ease of breathing after the initial exhalation that occurs during physical exertion is called second wing. Restored energy of strength is the main purpose of second wing. A person's ability to breathe freely during exercise after having been out of breath is called second wing. A new strength or energy to continue something that is an effort is the part of second wind. Symptoms prior to the second wind: breathlessness, pain in chest, headache, pain in the muscles which are involved in that activity, feeling an inability in physical efficiency. 6.1 Neuromuscular coordination start diminishing, feeling of dry throat. What are the changes that happen in our body due to second wind? Breathlessness disappears. The rate of respiration becomes less. Oxygen supply becomes normal. Carbon dioxide accumulation gets reduced. Then, second one, muscles become normal. Pain in the muscles disappears. Muscles swelling diminishes. And muscles temperature increase. Then change in the blood circulation system. Waste products like lactic acid and uric acid accumulate in less quantity. Supply of oxygen increases. Heart rate reduces. This is the end of the video. Thank you for watching. Stay at home, stay safe and healthy.